sicknesses that comes along because of anxiety, fears, and phobias. Okay, now let us take a look. So if you see my head, my face turning left and right in the screen, please excuse me because I'm controlling two computers. One is my note and one is for the PowerPoints that you're looking at. All right. Now let's look at this thing. Talk about John chapter 14 verse 27. It says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." So what is God saying? That God knows that we need peace in this world, and there will be very little nowadays. It's going to be worse and worse. So just let me ask, how are you today? How are you at this moment? Are you at ease? And are you at peace? When we say, yeah, no, let us look at this scripture verse in 2 Timothy 3, verse 1 to 4, and then 13. Okay, I read. But know this, that in the last days, perilous times will come, for men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemies, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good trade, of good, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. But evil men and impostors will grow worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Isn't that this is very true at this present moment in our society now? And I want to major into two scriptures here. Is verse 1 and verse 13. There's the first and the last scripture. In verse 1, it says, "In the last days, perilous times will come." Unfortunately, that it has already begun. Okay, and it's here, and we are really experiencing it now, like global events, like the global events like COVID-19, the pandemic, and now we had the influenza pandemic, and many people are getting it, but doesn't that we don't very feel it. And about wars, terrorism, and the climate crisis, fewer widespread anxiety and fear, causing concerns about health, safety, financial stability, and the future. This constant um, bombardment of negative news and information, especially through media, can also trigger so much or worsen our feelings of stress and overwhelming, leading to widespread psychological distress of worries, anxiety, fears, and phobia. All right. And verse 13 is the last word. It says, "Evil men and impostors will grow worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived." Remember, false biblical prophets and teachers are blasting their voices to the internet and Zoom meetings every day, maybe many rounds in a day. And then there are worldwide scammers. And now I just heard that now in KL and PJ, the scammers are not only on media or meeting you in banks, cheating you, but now they're in the streets. In the street, and I just read from a clip in the news that the scammers are running in the street, catching anyone that can cheat them. They've even gone to, not just through the internet, they're now around the street, so be watchful, all right? Now, AI advancements replacing human activities. Presently, there's this exhibition in China. I have forgotten the place. I think Chongqing or something like that. There were 1,000 over stores, and then I saw a clip that this person went to show the AI or the computer this exhibitions. The number of robots have created is beyond our understanding. Even dancer robots, our little sweeper in the house, already a very tiny little thing. Now they're so major. When I saw it, I was so scared. So eventually, maybe I will be displaced. Many people will be displaced in jobs. Okay, and all this adding up worries, anxieties, fear, and phobia, and robbing us of our ease and peace in our daily life. So now if we were to ask ourselves, are we at ease and at peace? Then we might think, oh, then we may not be. And these are very destructive issues around us. So every day we are clouded with worries, anxiety, phobia, and that causes a lot. That causes depression. If we do not know how to deal with the worries, the anxieties, the fear, and the phobia, it will lead us to depression. And if you do not know how to handle it and allow it to keep going on, you'll end up with suicide, right? Okay, or even a mental event in a mental hospital. Now, this evening, my objective is to expose or unmask the subject of anxieties, fear, and phobia. Okay, I must say that this teaching actually originally is only there for 6 hours, and there was a one time I managed to get it into the 1.5 hours, and now I'm going to give it maybe 45 minutes, 40 minutes to give you an introduction, just give you an introduction, so it's not very detailed. You want a detailed teaching, then go continue to research on what I have shared now. Okay, now look at number one, talking about fear. Fear is also is a good thing, because fear is a gift of God for the preservation or survival and of the human race. In Genesis chapter 3, that talk about the fear of talking about fear of God. Now let's look at James chapter 1 verse 17, verse 17a says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, that comes down from the Father of light. That's what fear is, a gift. Refers to the concept, the idea of a thought that serves as a valuable signal for danger. Then which teaches my computer. Which teaches people to trust their guts, instincts, and intuition to avoid danger and to protect ourselves. For example, you see something like a cup of hot water being spilled on the table, and you are sitting down there. No, then what would you do? Wow, suddenly you just scared that it may get burnt. Right? What do? You jump up and then you avoid the water dropping onto us. Right? So this kind of fear is a good fear, and this is gift from God. So true fear is a gift, but unnecessary or inappropriate fear is a curse. So it can also the fear of God. Also, we can refer to another concept, a religious concept about the fear of God. It's a spiritual grace instilling a reverent awe for God that promotes avoiding sin, and this is absolutely good. I remember there was this pastor Stephen something from US, and he was a very renowned pastor, have a very big mega church, and then he fell into sin, and then he was jailed. And Dr. John Dobson went to visit him and talk to him and ask him what happened to him. He says he loves God, but he doesn't have enough fear of God to prevent him from sinning. So therefore, the fear of God is actually for our good, right? Now, the second thing here is talk about the fear triggers stress responses. Just like just now I've said, when you see a hot water, a cup of hot water being spilled from the table, what will you do? You quickly run, right? So talking about common fear, how to respond to a common fear is this, like the three, the fight, the flight, and the freeze. Sometimes when you get so frightened, if a dog, let's say for example, a dog were to chase after you, what do? Well, either you fight back and command the dog to get away, or you beat the dog or something like that, or you'll be running away from the dog, or you can become so frightened that you cannot do anything. You just sit there and then you just tremble, frozen. Okay, so these are common fear responses. Okay, now another type of uh, fear response is called, there are the five responses, is the fight, the flight, the freeze, the fawn, and the flop responses. And these are responses for very extreme traumas. Like for example, someone came to rob you, and you're let's standing at a taxi stand or standing somewhere, and a robber come and rob you. It's either when you rob your bag, you try to fight back and get back your handbag, or get back the things that they have been taken away from you. Uh, or you run away, try to run as faster than the robber. Or sometimes you get so frightened, it's frozen, and then you don't know what to do. Just allow the robber to take away whatever you take. Another one was a fawn and a flop. Fawn actually means fawn is that attempting to appease or to make peace with the perceived aggressor or avoid conflict. For example, the robber come and rob you, say, okay, okay, take what you like, but give me back my handbag, give me back my IC, give me back my cards or whatever. You're like negotiating with the robber. And another one is flop. Flop means totally collapse, fainted. So these are the five extreme fearful response, right? Yeah. Here, talk about fear varies from common to crippling, mind destructive things. And common and crippling. I will not go to scriptures because I don't have the time. You read, please read it yourself. Like the common and circumstantial fear would be like fear of heights, fear of flying, fear of water, fear of storms, a fear of closed spaces, like in a lift, and your fear of going to the dentist, all right? The fear of crowds, fear of public speaking. All these are specific fear or that each person may have, varies from different people. My fear is that I would cross a big drain with a small piece of plank or small narrow little path for me to walk through. I would definitely would not be able to make it. No doubt I'm so active, I can jump, I can whatever. But if you ask me to cross a drain with a piece of small plank like this, I can't make it. I don't think I will ever step onto it anyway. Okay. So the next one is sort of crippling and debilitating destructive fear. Crippling anxiety makes you feel like you are constantly on edge, never relaxed, unable to let go. You're always focused on the fear, on the the fear that the things that cause you to fear, and then lead to very intense uh, stress and chronic pain, and ultimately increased anxiety levels. So these are very severe symptoms. Some severe symptoms can be include racing thoughts, chest pain, difficulty breathing, and dizziness. Okay. Now the next one is wait a minute. Okay, number 4 is a fear is an open door to spirits, um, to spirit or torment, them demonization, resulting in a person having a very troubled or tormented mind or soul. In John 10:10, okay, the thief came not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy, but Jesus come to give us life and life and more abundantly. Okay, now it's important to understand that evil spirits, how does the evil spirit cripple us? Is first that it will attack us by giving us thoughts, giving us wrong thoughts, negative thoughts, and they capture us and hold us to and kick our attention and make it become a mental stronghold that actually paralyze in us in our thoughts, that we cannot be relaxed, we cannot be set free all the time. We're thinking about the fear, being captured by it. In other words, they can also make us or compel us to make us feel like you want to do something, even though this is not my pattern, my character, or my usual daily behavior. But it makes me feel like I want to do it. I want to do it. That's compelling. This is the demon is a demonic crippling, right? Then some after you have fall into the traps of being captured and controlled by the negative thoughts, the same spirit will accuse you of having these thoughts and feelings. Then, for example, I make you do something, then after that I blame you for doing it, I laugh at you, I despise you for doing it. The same is what the devil will do. If you believe these accusations of what they say that you are doing all this, they are bad, you're bad, you're bad, then you lose confidence in yourself and and also God's ability to keep you. You totally lost your confidence and God's ability to help. And this state is a spiral down to anxiety, self-hatred, and depression. You look at the diagram here, the spiral. All right, I won't run down the stages. I think I hope you can see it's not very big. No? So you run down from stage to stage, until you get so depressed that you're totally captured and forced emotionally down, right? Okay. Now let's go to part B. Part B, I talk about the unholy trinity. of anxiety should be worry, anxiety, and fear. This is the order: worry, anxiety, and fear, and phobia. And these are the worry, anxiety, and fear. This is the core of mental illness. These three negative mental control is called unholy trinity. The truth is at the core of mental illnesses. These are the basic things that make a person fearful of them. And these three are the important components for most mental illnesses, and particularly anxiety disorders. And while normal in moderation, it can be moderate, it can be very serious, depending on the person and the exposure of the fear. And they become core to mental illness when they're excessive and difficult to control and significantly interfere with daily life and leading to distress, impaired functioning, and potentially worse physical health and other conditions like depression. The worst part that go down the spiral is depression. If it's not, if depression is not processed and is not being dealt with, you end up with suicide, right? That should be the way that it goes. Right? Let us look at the healthy fear versus destructive fear. And Proverbs 1:7 says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and destruction." I add another scripture. It's called Proverbs chapter 9 verse 10. Talk about the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. What is knowledge? Knowledge is what we know. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the right way of using the knowledge. So, what is true wisdom and understanding? Is true wisdom and understanding originates from the reverence awe of God. If you do not have any reverence of God, no respect for God, and no fear. Fear means that you don't know how to avoid ungodly things, then you fall into godly things. That is actually considered as foolishness. Okay, without the fear of God. That's how this Pastor Stephen felt. Is because he said that he loved God but lacked the fear of God. Right. So you want to increase your wisdom and the knowledge of God, read the book of Proverbs. Right. Okay. So the destructive fear is an irrational or disappropriate. That means irrational. That means that without reasoning, without proper reason. The fear of non-existing or manageable threats that paralyzes a person, preventing the person from taking necessary actions of living a full life. That's why I say earlier the description about fear is that it sort of attracts you and controls you and suppress you, that into that you become totally pinned down and you're not able to exercise your mental, the the clear mental state of your mind. Right. Now look at this one. Next one, you talk about definitions. Look at definition for worry. Worry is a deep feeling of ongoing anxiety. Okay, and you look at a cycle of worries. Worry is a state of mental distress and nervousness that involves a continuous cycle of thoughts and concerns about potential future negative events. Like that is a normal human response. Everybody worries, definitely. But to what extent do you worry? Was your worry reasonable, or is your worry unreasonable, or is your worry really true, or is just a false, something that you think of, or something that you really think it is, or something that's really happening? So it's reality or false. Okay? So it's a normal human response to a danger or uncertainty that can positively affect the person's livelihood. Okay. Now the second part. Okay. Okay. Second part talk about anxiety. You look at the diagram. The diagram actually says here, uh, a bit small, you don't mind me. It starts with I'm not sure how to do this. Then, for example, you're cooking a dish and you're not sure how you're doing it. When the husband is coming back, children coming back from school, husband coming back from work, what need to eat. wow, you get stressed. And then, okay, this thing is okay. Okay. And then you say, oh, I'm not sure I can get it done on time. Whoa, you'll be worried. Wow, time is like coming in, getting a little shorter and shorter. Then the third thing it says that I am scared to admit that I am behind. Oh no, my computer running out of battery. I don't understand why. I don't understand. Okay, if my computer stops, I start on another one. Okay, don't understand why am I having problem. Couldn't be more. All right. Okay. If it stops, then I will shut down. Then you say that I'm scared to admit that I'm behind and unsure. Then you scared husband will scold you, children will say will cry, yeah? Hungry, hungry, hungry. So in the next one is that you need to advise to make sure I'm doing this right. So you cannot get advice. You run around, you cannot get advice. So as time coming shorter and shorter, you get more and more stress, more and more stress. Then you more and more worry. So this is how the cycle you get cycle again and again and again. So you today you happen to be your cooking is bad, you cannot get on time. Tomorrow there'll be something else. Oh, we can't get to work on time. So if you keep on going, then your life will be very, very distracted and getting into a lot of despair. Okay, now talk about anxiety. Anxiety is uh, actually, anxiety, according to notes you read, that unpleasant, abiding sense of apprehension with physical symptoms. Actually, anxiety often originates in the brain from worry, which is a thought process involving imagining future dangers that triggers a physical response in the body. You know, worry is something that you think of, whether it's real or it can be false. You worry about this, you worry about that, you worry, many, many, many worries. When you accumulated, it become anxieties. Anxiety is over worrying, carrying your brain capacity of holding the worries has gone beyond. Then the nerve system will get into another state of tightness, another state of tension. It's called anxiety. Okay. Now, um, okay, the difference between worries and anxiety is that worry is a thought process. You keep on thinking, collection of thoughts, ideas, and doubts. So anxiety is the emotional and physical response to that worry. How do you respond to the worry? Often manifests as a feeling of unease. You become more and more tense, more and more insecure. Right? The third was about fear. Fear is a short-term bout of anxiety. So you're very, very certainly an attack comes, and then you say, oh, becomes short-term, short-term. After the incident is over, then you will relax, okay? And fear always begins with a reason. There's always something that you are fearful about. No, it's unlikely that you something of fear of nothing. You're still sitting around. Unless there's a little thunderstorm, a lightning strike, wow, then suddenly when the thunderstorm and the lightning is off, then your fear will subside. Right? But this is can be real or it can be imaginative as well. Okay. Now, just now I talk about the volunteer response, the fight, the flight, or the fawn on the flock, right? This is a response to fear. Now, the next is called phobia. Phobia is an irrational, that means unreasonable, extreme fear, usually with crippling. That means that tense, that crips you up or captures you. And then usually a phobia is over a fear over a object, a situation or a place, like over stemming from a traumatic event or you have learned how to behave. Every time you see something like that, you behave like that. I explain this to you, like for example, my when we were young, my cousin and I, we always play and run around, run around. Then one day when we were playing, a lizard fell from the ceiling and landed on her forehead. You know, lizards are cold-blooded reptiles, right? So you landed on it, you felt something cold. You went the hand and picked it up, and then you saw the lizard. Wow, that incident when she was probably about maybe 5 years old, 4, 5, 6 years old. Until now, she's already 40, 50 years old. When she saw a lizard, when she sees a lizard, she automatically goes, the goosebumps will come up because it reminds her of that event, a traumatic event. To her, it was a trauma, right? It was so traumatic to her that every time she sees it, she gets into frozen or gets goose pimples, right? So most mental illnesses stem from worry, anxiety, fear, and phobia. Is how Satan destroys human. As seen in John chapter 10, verse 10, part A, it says the thief, that Satan, does not come except to steal, to kill, and to destroy. So if you are living in fear and under living in fear, and ultimately your thinking is rooted in fear, then everything you see, you hear, or you feel be filtered through fear. Just like my cousin. Now we think about it, talk about, see that the lizard also already feel the effect of the trauma. Okay? So ask ourselves, what are we? What are what? What have I experienced? What have I experienced that causes me to fear? What causes fear? What have I experienced that caused me fear? Right? Okay. Now, look about the last one, talk about phantom fears. Phantom fears are imagined, they are not real, right? Like I give you an example is that when I was in standard 4, standard 5, I watched one movie, it's about Dracula. And then added on was another one, the Exorcist. After that, I was so frightened. I didn't even dare to get into a dark room. And when I wash my face, wash my face and look at the mirror, I don't dare to close my eyes completely and wash my face. I wash one side, then looking at the mirror, make sure there's no image appeared in the mirror, and then I wash the other side. This is all phantom. That's not true. There's no spirits, right? That I fear. This is what I fear. And until I was much, much grown up, close to almost late teens, from standard 5, standard 5, maybe 10 years old, up to late teens, almost 20s, then only I could slowly get rid of the thing, right? So there's something that is not fear, but we do have fears as well, right? Now, look at this. What are the causes of anxiety, fear, and phobia? It can be a biological factors that genetic inherited from the parents due to underlying health issues that cause fear, and environment factors like traumatic events, social isolation, work financial stress, social pressure. I'm talking about social isolation. Okay, when during the time of pandemic that year, or how long that we had the what called the MCO, I was alone in the house for this period. Now, actually, I went into kind of, I won't use the word depression. It's not so bad that I was so anxious, so fearful all by myself until I really almost couldn't make it. And what I do was I started to worship and sing and sing and sing and sing and sing and started to read the Bible. That's how I sustained my life of that period of time. Now, look at number 3 is the lifestyle factors. Okay, poor sleep, drug, alcohol misuses, excessive social media use. Number 5 is major global events, such as a COVID-19 pandemic, and also significantly triggered anxiety in many. Now, let's look at it now. How does fear actually end up is that they started worrying for one thing about the child not studying, or one thing and another thing, until your mind gets so saturated that you went into a kind of become an obsession, or become so anxious that the mind, the central nervous system cannot hold anymore, becomes so tense, so tight, then you went into fear, right? And so it all began with a worry, then overloading put into anxiety, overloading get into fear, and then eventually get into mental illnesses. Mental illnesses, you either branch up into other mental illnesses that we are going to see later, or you end up with depression. All right, this is how our fear affects us, how worry, anxiety, and fear affects us. Right, now let's talk about this one. The general symptoms of worries, anxieties. Um, okay, let me have to read from the screen here. about worry, anxiety, fears, and phobia. The symptoms can be stomach pains, indigestion, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, digestive tract diseases, fatigue, headaches, heart diseases, hypertension, ulcers, allergies, infections, asthma, rheumatism, skin disorder, eczema, stress, acne, thyroid malfunction, and many, many more. Okay? Sometimes the doctors just can't even diagnose what is wrong with you, but it's because of our constant worries. Now, are you all doing well? Am I going too fast, or are you all able to catch what I'm saying?
It's good.
Okay, good. Anything, you please let me know so I won't go overboard. All right. Talk about fear. Is wait a minute now, I got lost. Fear is one of Satan's weapons. How does Satan use it against us? Okay, I seem to have lost this page in my notes. I can look at fear. Fear, one of Satan's weapon. First thing, it hinder people from relationship with God. Because when you fear is opposite of faith, right? And then when you don't have faith, you don't know how to trust God. Once you know how to trust God, you will have faith. You don't know how to when you have fear, you don't trust God. Then you're diminishing our courage. When you're fearful, you think you can do something, stand up, wow, and fight like the response. After fighting a while, you will collapse as well, right? Then stealing our peace and leading us into doubt and sin. So when you doubt God's favor, you doubt God's blessing, and doubt God's love, and doubt God's ability to help, is sin, right? So we are not to submit or commit, do not succumb ourselves into fear, but be encouraged to place our trust in God to provide the power and the victory to overcome. That's why I remember I shared with you how I overcome the the fear or the anxiety of the MCO. I worship. I just turn on the song and let the song run. Albums run, and I sing and sing and sing and sing and start to read my Bible, and that's how I go. So that's how my faith get restored back. Okay. The next one. This is very serious or very common. Uh, Not to say common, but is quite a very distressing sickness. We call the fear of sickness connection, which means your fear of being sick, fear of having a disease, fear of having cases unhealthy. All right. So, and the former name is called nosophobia. It is an irrational, that means unreasonable and overwhelming fear of contracting a specific disease. It's different from general health, I said, I feel that I'm not enough of vitamins. I'm going to eat other, not the general fear they're talking about here. It's talking about very specific that you're fearful of getting sick, right? So it become an anxiety, and is focused on particular illnesses like cancer lah, COVID lah, whatsoever, or whatever kind of terminal cases that you imagine that you get it. And symptoms can include constant worry, repeated research of a specific disease. Nowadays the computer, the Google is so much, don't search and search. Wow, the more you know, the more you get frightened. And the more you get frightened, the more stressed and more fearful you become, and they end up become a mental control. So if people have such problem, there'll be avoidance of places or frequent doctor visits or tests, all of which interfere with daily life. Keep on going test, doctor, I got this today, or tomorrow you go to doctor, I got that, another. So keep on visiting doctors and getting tests, or avoid it. Oh, COVID, cannot, influenza, flu. Oh, better don't go in the crowds. So you stay by yourself. I have one senior member in our church, not our church, she didn't accept Christ. In my group of friends, senior. And after the MCO, he has never gone out of his house for how many years? MCO was over for how long already? Only this year, only started coming up to small group meeting only. Wouldn't dare to go to the church because too many people. Wouldn't go to the market, too many people. don't go. So we need to go to small group. So he has been avoiding from coming out from his house for how many years? MCO is 200, 2000. Is it 2000? Am I right? 2000, and now it's 2000 and 2021. Now it's 25. Only this year only started coming out. Recently only started coming out. So he has kept himself away from places and people for this period of time. So all these are actually overdoing it. Okay? So another name you can call the illness anxiety disorder. You think that you're sick, you're sick, you're sick, you're sick. I want to share with you some time in, let me see what is this now. Sometime in September, August, I thought I had a kidney failure. No, kidney failure is a very serious thing, if you get no healing, and then otherwise you have to go for dialysis lah. And when you go to dialysis, it's very, very uncomfortable and very painful. All right, and then is they have gone through dialysis. Usually people don't live long, averagely only about 5 years. So I was so fearful, honestly, so fearful. So I will have symptoms in my body, symptoms of this, symptoms of that, of my kidney failure. It made me so frightened. I go and look into the internet and dig, and oh yeah, I got this. Out of the 5 symptoms, I got 4. So sure, 4 out of 5 sure kena already. Wow, the fear. Until I didn't go and see the doctor. I went to consult the doctor also. Didn't I went to get blood test. Came out nothing, but I've had the symptoms. I have symptoms. I was so frightened until one day I went for a course on went for a course, and during a time of worship. Wow, very deep worship. And I was worshiping. I had a vision. I saw myself in like about 5, 6 year old girl in the hands of Jesus. I was resting on his bosom. I was crying and crying and rubbing my nose on his clothes. I was rubbing. I cried and crying and crying and crying. It was so fearful. The fear of crying. It's not the sadness. It's fear. Crying, 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 crying. After a while, I just stopped crying and I look up at his face. I couldn't see his face, but I only see that myself that looking up at his face. And my fear was totally gone. And I went back and I checked why. Then during a conversation among friends, they said overeating what do you call that, pumpkin can cause kidney problem. Then I say, yeah, because I brought 2 pumpkin from Cameron Highlands consecutively 2 times. Every day I've been eating pumpkin soup lah, pumpkin porridge lah, pumpkin this, pumpkin that, whole day, because one pumpkin for me to eat alone is take some time, right? Practically every day I was having pumpkin. Oh, then I realized, hey, maybe it could be the reason that I stopped eating and all the symptoms stopped. So even if this kind of thing can cause a lot of anxiety and a lot of really, really, really a lot of fear unto you, okay? Right? So the core of let me see. Okay. So the symptoms of this anxiety illness disorder is because of the constant worry, and then you keep researching and finding, and then you get more and more worried, more and more of a confirmation that you're having the problem. So you avoid places. I think I've gone through this already. All right. Next one. Now look at number section. Okay, time is good. 5 types. There are 5 types of anxiety disorder. There are mental illness. The first is the anxiety bad fella. Bad is bed fella. Okay, proper English. British English is bad. American English is bad. Bed fella with depression and insomnia. Bed fella, that means you're having problem sleeping. That these both anxiety, anxiety and depression involve racing thoughts. Racing. That means how fast you think about the negative thoughts, and all the negative thoughts clutter together, which that often cannot be shut down. You keep moving and moving and moving and moving, and sometimes without medication, you just can't stop it. You just need to go to see a psychiatrist to get medication to sober down, slow down your thinking. So what is this anxiety? What anxiety disorder is because of the racing thoughts. And when all these thoughts clutter together, it start with worries, right? After worry become anxiety, all the negative thoughts cluster together and force you into depression. Okay, now it is caused first is caused what? Insomnia. Insomnia is um, sleeplessness at night, right? Unable to sleep at night. And what is it caused? What causes insomnia is that we cannot find a solution to our problems. You keep on thinking that you cannot find a solution. This one cannot find, you got financial problem, no money, what to do, bank won't lend you, friends won't lend you, blah, blah, then you get into a lot of problems. Then you get into a sleeplessness, and because you have no solution to your worries. But don't forget, Jesus is our solution, right? So this sleep disorder now is considered as a public health issues, and many people, a few pastors can't sleep, right? And concern, it consider psychiatric and societal consequences. It's become a public health concern with considerable psychiatric and society, something with consequences. Now you look at this diagram, the anxiety and insomnia bi-directional relationship, and it's like a vicious cycle. First thing you said, you are so stressed, and then you feel so tense up, and all the wind up inside your head at night, you cannot relax, you cannot release, then you can't sleep. So one night you cannot sleep, the next day you get stressed, and then you feel what? Uh, you're walking like a zombie a little bit here. Then next day, same thing, increase. So you keep on moving, and as long as you don't find solutions to your worries, this sleepless nights will continue and continue and continue. Very unfortunate that our body has memories. Remember what is muscles memories? When you exercise every day, you get a pattern of exercise. Last time you say, okay, step one, 1, 2, 3, step two, 1, 2, 3, step four, 1, 2, 3, you get the steps. But after practicing many times, your body muscles remembers the steps. So you keep on going. You don't have to tell you step one, step two, step three. You don't have to do that. The same with our brain. One night you don't sleep, next night you don't sleep, next night you don't sleep. Like my case for me is that if, for example, if I were to wake up in the morning, if I fall to and I sleep in night and I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning today, then the next night I will wake up at 2 o'clock. So if I don't correct it, if I get up or do something, then you continue on the third day, fourth day, it become a habit already. So the same thing with sleep pattern. If one night you cannot sleep, the next night you cannot sleep, third night, accumulation of sleeplessness become insomnia, and it's become a vicious cycle. No? And then end up with mental health conditions. You get into anxiety and depressed, and your anxiety gets harder to sleep, then you get more and more anxious and more depressed. So the connection between anxiety and depression now create a never-ending cycle, like just at the diagram here. So each condition that exaggerate, that means increases in tension that keeps you awake, and the resulting sleep deprivation can fuel more anxiety and low moods. End up walking like a zombie, Then you have to go and see a psychiatrist to get sleeping pills, and this is become a habit. All right. Okay. Now look at the next called how anxiety causes mental illnesses is called generalized anxiety disorder. This is a very common thing. It can be short term and can be long term. And this long term, you move into deeper issues. Okay. This is a chronic state of anxiety over a wide range of life issues and situations like money problem, health, family, work, future, natural disaster, end times events. Okay. And there always be something to worry about, a constant excessive worries. So you keep on worry, and end up into this generalized anxiety disorder. Right? And then the first thing is that it can happen to anyone, and also can happen to children as well. And this can be treated with talk therapy and medication. Talk therapy, that means talk the person out of it, giving reason, helping the person to see things in the right way, or make medications. And the prayer counseling will be very helpful for in this uh, this anxiety disorder. Now, number two, we're talking about the specific phobias. Just now I talked about Stress phobia is the extreme fear of objects or situations. I think I've explained it a bit earlier. They can be as small as a cockroach. I was listening to one Hong Kong psychiatrist, and in his one of his talk, he said he asked talk about fear. He said, husband, talking about fear, phobia, or specific phobia or things, of items, or people. He said, men, husbands, why are you fearful of your wife? Why are you fearful of your wife? Why is it? Man is generally is taller and bigger size and stronger than a woman. You can always overcome, right? You can even shout as loud, if not louder. So what is that you should be fearful of your wife? it was, he make it very joyfully lah, but actually it's something to think about lah. Okay, brothers. now, now talk about a panic attack. Panic attack is a sudden episode of intense fear that triggers severe physical reactions when there is no real danger or apparent cause. Um, okay. Actually, sometimes it can be very real, like this picture here. That suddenly your car explode. Don't you get panic attack? All right. I share one experience with you. I was in the Philippines from last year, last October. Last October, I was in the Philippines from the 10th to the 27th. I went to do co-teaching in a Rafa Ministry School in the Philippines. And then I was there on a Friday. And then on a Monday morning, I slept very, very early that on Sunday night, slept very early because I have started, the school started on Monday, going to start on Monday. And I slept very early. And 1 o'clock, I woke up. And I look at the clock, 1 o'clock. Then after a while, just a few minutes later, I felt my bed move, who shook my bed? Then after a while, another time, then I woke up, I stood up, sat up and look around, nobody, right? So why is my bed moving? Then another time, just my bed just really moved, Then I say, wow, earthquake, because at that time, the southern part of Philippines already getting a lot of earthquakes. And then I said, wow, earthquake. Then what do I do? Shall I run? Shall I run? Then I was so sleepy. I said, I asked God, God, shall I run? Shall I run? Oh, God, you didn't bring me here to die. I was talking with God. Really, it's very fearful, really fearful. Then after a while, I had peace and I went back to sleep. And then I checked with my friends the next day, do you get the attack? No, no, everybody, so many people was sleeping. Nobody, and many didn't feel it. And then one of the sisters in the school said she was living in the 8th floor in a condo. They said they were all told to get out of the condo. I said, an experience. And then there was first Monday, and on the last Monday, early in the morning, we were in the class, and then the pastor came out and said, okay, we have got the earthquake alarm today, so be watchful. Okay. And then wow, a bit scared lah. Wow, last day of the school, let us finish first before anything happen lah. Then by the afternoon, we were given say, then there's a siren here. They call a silent drill. I mean, earthquake drill. Everybody had to get out of the building. The school was in a campus in a university, and you see all the university students all line up in the big football field. With all of us are lining up there to run away from the building. And actually, it was quite an experience. It's quite fearful, honestly, very, very frightening, I would say. All right, okay. Now, the last one is the fourth one is obsessive compulsive disorders. I think you have heard a lot about this. You have seen a lot of people suffering from this, but actually, what really is this? What is it? It's the meaning of obsession is a state in which someone thinks about someone or something constantly or frequently, especially in a way that is not normal. For example, a boy thinking of a girl thinking of a boy, or something like that. Or then you think about the things that so obsess you that you think about it without ceasing. It's been hitting you every moment of your life or the day. And it is not a normal way of thinking. It's not even the way of a worry, far beyond worry. All right. Now, what is compulsion? Compulsion is a strong feeling of wanting to do something repeatedly, that is difficult to control. Compulsion, that means pushing you to do, pushing you to do, pushing you to do. Okay, so obsessive compulsive disorder is a feature that pattern of unwanted thoughts and fears known as obsessions. There's this pattern of consistent thinking and controlling thoughts that cause you fear, and it's called obsession. And this obsession leads you to repetitive behaviors, and it's called compulsion. So this is called a pattern of unwanted thoughts and repeated behaviors. This is called obsessive compulsion. Now, these obsessive and compulsions get in the way of daily activities and cause a lot of distress. And ultimately, you'll feel driven to do compulsive acts to ease yourself. If you don't do it, you just feel so uneasy that you just want to like, wow, make you want to jump out the window, that kind, you know. And it's very bothersome thoughts or urges that keeps coming back. It's non-stop. And it starts off because of fear, right? Fear-based. And before fear was anxiety, before anxiety was worries, right? So if you can control, take charge of the over worrying and the anxiety, then and fear, then this will not happen. Oh, another interesting one is this OCD. Okay, right. I think I've done this. Now, hoarding is anxiety rooted. Ladies, even men, hoarding. Okay, what do we hoard? Funny thing is we sometimes hoard those funny fun things like what? Plastic boxes. Have you? I don't know about you lah. I went to a friend's house and I opened I said, may I have a box to put my food take some food home now. Okay, now it's in the cupboard. I opened the cupboard, the whole cupboard of full of plastic boxes, recycle ones, not brand new, recycle. Then I said, why you want to keep so many? Don't know. Sometimes you like that, like now you want to take, now I don't have, you know. I tell you, it was so funny. I don't know whether to laugh or feel sorry for the sister. Whole cupboard full. Okay, sometimes we hoard something else. We may hoard money, right? We don't want to give, want to hold, fearful of lack, right? So this is obsessions that could even take the form of Christian issues, like for example, fear of hell. Wow, scared. Okay. Oh, I might always confess my sin. I must not be sin. I must not sin. These are actually an obsession. And this is called hoarding. These are hoarding fear. And the fear of thinking evil, or you must not think evil, or must not think evil, or sinning against God. Sometimes when I was much younger as a Christian, I was so faithful in going to church, going to my Bible classes, going for Bible study, prayer meeting, everything. So there was one time I had to go back to Ipoh and I'll miss Sunday service. Wow, I was so scared that I would sin for not going to Sunday service. Wow, so scared of pray for God. Give me pray. Actually, all these are just hoarding thoughts, fearful thoughts. It's not true. It's not correct, man. So, the fear of not reading the Bible, fear of not praying, fasting, or giving sufficiently. Give already, not enough lah. I feel that I've not given enough lah. So these are all wrong thoughts. So hoarding is strongly rooted in anxiety and emotional distress, as the disorder is characterized by the inability to discard possessions, unable to let go of things, right? Leading to an excessive accumulation of items that cause significant stress and interferes with daily life. But we don't see it, right? We don't see it. So in many cases, stressful or traumatic events such as what is the causes is such as divorce or death of loved ones, um, can be associated with onset of hoarding symptoms. Like people will cope with the loss by holding on to possessions, um, to maintain a sense of security or remember the disease. For example, let's say once I went into bankruptcy, rather went into debts, various bad debts, and then after that I finished, I have paid back my debts, and now I may have a fear of losing. So I have to hoard, keep my money, not lose again, those kind of mental thoughts, mental thinking. Or people who have passed away, you want to keep the items, you want to throw, keeping uh, some, if you keep a few is good for good memory, for memory's sake, but not when you're over obsessed with hoarding things that is already gone and useless already, right? So now the final anxiety disorder is called post-trauma stress disorder. And this disorder is a trauma-based or related. The person remains in a state of psychological shock after an overwhelming event of trauma. By the name itself, post-traumatic, that means past events, signifies the after shock, the after the trauma, highlighting that it's directly related to a disturbing or a life-threatening experience. However, not everyone who experiences trauma develops PTSD. Individual factors such as genetic or inherited and environmental and life experience play a role in whether a person develops this or disorder. The person may avoid places, activities, or people that remind them of the trauma. I have this cousin brother-in-law. Um, he inherited a big sum of money from the family from the family. When his father passed away, he inherited a big sum. So instead of continuing with his business, started another business which is actually not familiar with. Went into clothing. He was a construction man, right? In the construction business, and went into clothing with a group of people from Hong Kong or something like that. And then he was cheated, totally cheated, and he was signed as a guarantor for bank loans whatsoever. In the end, he was being chased by the Along, chased by the bank. So he had to run to US to hide. And his wife and two young girls were so fearful of the loan sharks coming to hack to haunt them. They had to run and stay away with relatives. Didn't even dare to go home until the issue was settled by relatives with Along and all this. They all settled. Then only he came back to the home, and all the family came back together. And after that, he went into hiding in the sense that he will not join family activities. He will not join relatives' activities. No, he'll just hide. And especially after his wife passed away with cancer, then he hide even more. So he have to avoid himself from people, from places, and from all activities. Right now, okay, give me 5 more minutes. Will that be all right? We are coming to a conclusion. The last one, talk about treatments. So what treatments that we will get? There are circular treatments. Usually this kind of mental illness is mostly dealt with by medical, okay, sciences, like circular treatments and their limitations. First, one of those is called the exposed response therapy. There's a confront and expose. That means you bring the person, this mentally ill person, to face the situation, the trauma, the issues, the fear, and whatever the cause of this mental issue, to face the issue, talk through, give him a safe space and environment for him to talk. Pacify him, give him safe, keep him safe, keep him peaceful, at ease, and start talking about it. Let him face the issue and have him get through it, and then he'll be able to come out of it and then move on with life, right? This can be this will help the person to settle some situations and thoughts, but may not make it possible to cope during everyday situation. May not be able to totally set free, but at least help the person to subside. The best treatment for this is called deep breathing techniques. You know what happens is that worries, right? They say, what is worry? Worry is that the mind is so all clouded with worries, clouded with mental thoughts. So much so that the person is not living here, is not living like you and I living what is happening now that we are aware. They're all the time in clouds, in the thoughts of clouds. So they are not present, emotionally not present, mentally not present. So what did the deep breathing do? According to the psychologist from Taiwan, Dr. Meng. I read his. I mean, I listened to his teaching. He says that to do the person do deep breathing is to sit silently, deep breathing and slow breathing to keep the person back to where it is. That is a technique of doing it, is that make the person feel that now you're sitting on your chair. Do you feel the chair? Your feet are on the ground. Do you feel the ground? Do you feel the ground is cool or warm? Right? Okay, now do you feel the air that you're breathing? Is it cool? Is it cold or is it warm? No, let the person feel, feel what is inside and what is outside. So bring the person back to the here and now, then bring the person to overcome the clouded thought, clouded thinking. I find that this is very powerful. I was in another different type of issue. I got a mental, not mental, a lot of thoughts, thinking. My mind is all the time, no split second of silence, no split second. Even I became a Christian also, no split silence, no split seconds of silence, all the time thinking of something. So I can't distinguish between whose voices, God's voice, my voice, devil's voice, the voice of the world. I can't distinguish until I started doing this deep breathing techniques for almost a year. My mind is totally clear of all these kind of sounds, all sounds. Now I can think and discern the voice of God very well. All right. Now, second one is talking about cognitive behavior therapy. This is a talk therapy. It's like changing your, it's not changing your beliefs to change your behavior. In other words, is that you keep talk to you, talk reason to you, talk right with you, talk logic with you to make you think, to correct your thinking back into the good order. And these patterns and behaviors to improve your mood and manage life problems. And it's very goal oriented. That means it's very structured and very objective. You talk and focus on your mind, the thoughts that is running in your mind, and you bring the person back to reality, right? So the person, this is something, is maybe also through some teaching or practical self-help skills to cope with conditions like depression, anxiety, and insomnia, and whatever issue, emotions, whatever um, negative emotion the person is feeling. And this is usually commonly used by secular counseling session. Go to secular counselors, and this is how they treat you, is by talking to you, allow you to talk, and they chip in a little while to lead you to talk more. So when your thought is being released out, your mind will be free, right? And it's also in the counseling approach, in the prayer counseling that I've learned. The statement is that you have to acknowledge to be healed. When you acknowledge, you're able to talk. When you're able to talk, you're able to feel. When you're able to feel, you're able to be healed. So you have to first thing you acknowledge. So this therapy, the CTP, is to let the person talk, acknowledge that he has a issue, and let the person talk, and let all this release out of his mind. Another psychologist, a Christian psychologist called Caroline Leaf, and I hardly look for her books, and I hardly listen to her anymore, because it was reported that she married her gay son. So she, as a doctor and a pastor, and he married his gay son. So I think this is something not right lah. Okay. So her approach is that change your thinking and change your brain. The brain is a neuroplastic organ and is compensate with any lack of defect due to injury, or is very capable of repairing itself through rewiring of its brain circuits. So neuroplasticity doesn't mean the brain is plastic, can enlarge, can expand, can enlarge, can expand. It's not. It means that the brain can heal by itself, like in cases like accidents, strokes, when you had a situation where the brain get damaged, then you can be healed by itself. Unfortunately, it's not for Alzheimer or for the other one, dementia. It doesn't work. Dementia and Alzheimer is due to aging, and this one is due to accidents or traumatic events. You like help the person to come back to his help the brain to come back to its original state. All right. Now, the third one. Okay. Oh, do you all see this just now? Did I change? No, sorry. So, okay, this, the flexibility or ability to change. All right. Now, this second last. Okay. Drugs and medication. The use of anti-anxiety medication, tranquilizers, muscles relaxant, and any other types of sleep medication is to subdue the nervous system, because you're so tense, so tense that you have to let it relax, into relax and tense, to relax the tensed muscles and to calm and decrease anxiety. Is to control raising thoughts and negative clutter of the thoughts and that clutter tighten the nervous system. And taking medication is good, but we consider of the side effects of the medication. Okay, can cause a lot of side effects. And do you know that for all the medication or the drugs that we buy from the pharmacy, there's a leaflet always describe to you what is being made or whatever, right? Or the instructions to use. In the leaflet itself, all the side effects are listed there, but hardly anyone, usually we don't actually read. When doctors say eat, then eat. Somebody say good, we buy and then we eat. We hardly read the leaflet. It's actually dangerous lah. So sometimes the side effects may contradict with the disease the person has. The drugs that we take may interact with the disease and can cause even more side effects, right? Okay. Now, the last, is it last one? No, second last. Talk about shortcomings of the medical model. Okay. In the science, the medical science, there's no God, no human, no spirit, no devil. No human spirit, sorry. No God, no human spirit, no devil. They only treat the body. So in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 23, which reads that now may the God of peace himself sanctify you completely, and may your whole spirit and soul and body be kept blameless at the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. Kept blameless, that means faultless. Faultless doesn't mean that you don't sin, but it's just that it keep our body and mind mentally sound, keep it mentally sound. But using the medical approach, secular medical approach is more on sciences, and you deal with only. But our body, we are tripartite being. We have a spirit, we have a soul, and a body. So our spirit can get wounded, our soul can get wounded, and our body can get wounded. Not just the body, but the medical science usually deal with the body itself, but nothing doing with the spirit. That means there's no devil, no human spirit, and doesn't deal with the mind, the mind, the will, and you can control the emotion with drugs. You can control the mental, but you cannot control the will. Okay, so man is a holistic being, so we need spirit, soul, and body. And what did I write here? Okay, soul is a composition of the mind, the emotion, and the will. Anxiety, fears, and phobia begin with the mind, the thought life. So it begins with the soul. So if the soul is in trouble, we need to heal the soul. But the medicine only deal with the brain, the heart core, deal with the body, the organs of the body, right? But it only treats the mind. If it's a mental issue, not focus on mental issue. Medicine treats the brain, not the mind. The mind is something to do with what you think. You cannot control your thoughts. And then meditation targets physical processes within the brain, how the brain function, how the nerves function, and all the cells and all this, how they function. And you don't directly treat abstract mental thoughts. Cannot deal with the unseen things. Medication can have to deal with the seen things, but thoughts are unseen, so you cannot deal with it. So anxiety, fear, and phobia are not diseases. Therefore, they cannot be treated by conventional medication. So for healing of anxiety, phobia, and fear and phobia, they go back to the root cause. Okay, so the root causes can be spiritual, emotional, mental, and biological. That's body. Okay, so true healing first is to believe in God's truth and heals the spirit, soul, and body. And this is called holistic healing. The truth is that doctor treats and God heals. Doctor can give you medication, can do surgery, can do a lot of other science things, scientific things, but they cannot give you healing. What healings comes through is when God bless the surgery, when God bless the medication, that brings a healing. So now you're talking about the integrated health care that is combination of medicine, counseling, and religion. In religion, I mean here about Christianity lah, can be integrated because spiritual beliefs is a fundamental part of health and healing. We are spiritual being, we are soulish being, and we also have a body. So just by medication alone, we cannot actually heal. So the integrated medicine is a healing-oriented approach that considers the entire person, encompassing all life aspects. It highlights the therapeutic partnership between practitioner and patient. So had to do with the person who counsels or with the doctors or God to get healing. So if you want to learn more, you can read this book called Deep Wound, Deep Healing by Charles Kraft. Right? I think that would be more info. There are more information. You want a more detailed studies. Okay, and this is the end of my sharing. Okay, and I end with these scripture words. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6, 7, yeah, something like that. And be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Philippians chapter 2. And this is the best treatment that we can always get. Okay, God bless. Good night. Sorry that I moved over time tonight. Yeah.
Thank you,
I
Sister
hope
Ro.
you understand what I've been sharing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think we actually in our days also, if not us, we will meet many people who has I
Yeah,
know two person who has got OCD,
yeah.
obsessive compulsive
Yes.
disorder. I know two person
Oh,
who has got
somebody did
this.
notice. Oh,
It's
sorry.
quite
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Question
Yeah,
for
just stay clear lah. Stop worrying. There's nothing to worry about. God has all information, all solutions to our life. So there's nothing to be concerned about. All right.
yeah,
So trust God lah. Trust God for everything. Then we shall be fine. The
yeah.
word, the word is the best medical book. Okay. God
Okay, thank you,
bless.
Sister Ro. Sister Ro, you stay on for a
Yeah.
little while.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
whether anybody any questions for you. Uh, at the meantime,
Mm.
I will share some announcement now, so I override your slide.
Oh, sorry. Huh. Go ahead.
I can override it. Okay, I just quickly share some of our announcement. Then I will, then we are open
I
for
stop
questions.
share. Shall I stop share?
Oh, it's okay. I already override.
All right. Mm.
Yeah, so this is our account for this week. So we have 1,090 ringgit in our upper room, and then we have 13,000 for Kampong Raja, and then we increase our Alia fund now. We have 7,000 now. So I really need to send to Brother Reggie this Alia fund. Yeah. We received one offering of 319, but we spent 300 on our speaker last round. Okay. So we continue to pay the rental and also the internet for Kampong Raja. Okay, next. So this is our account if you want to bless Kampong Raja or bless any of the upper room or Aliyah, yeah, you can send to here. Okay, tomorrow morning we're going to have a speaker. Uh, this is a Pastor Glenn Cunningham from India. He's going to speak on house church. So it's very interesting, I think, because at the end times, we come back to the house church. No more big institutional church because they are easy target. So we have to go back to the house church. Yeah. So this Pastor Glenn Cunningham has got a lot of experience in setting up house churches. So I hope you can log in 8 o'clock after devotion. Those who are in breakfast with Jesus also can log in after your devotion. Just log into. I will send out the link. I will send out the flyer to the groups. Okay, next week 21st, Sister Chi will be here to share Tales from the Pearl of the Orient. Sister Chi will be here to meet up some of you. So if you can come, I know it's there's dinner served at 6 o'clock, and then we will start our worship and sharing at 7:30, a bit earlier. So if you want to join us, it's a hybrid. You can come physical or you can join in the Zoom meeting. So we hope you can come and join physical to meet with Sister Chi, who is here actually in Taiping right now, and she'll be coming to PJ and KL in a few days' time. So just WhatsApp me if you want to come for the dinner so that I can prepare the dinner for you. Okay, so Brother Reggie is here. So he'll be coming on the 29th of November. Please take a note on the Saturday, 12 noon until 5 o'clock. So the venue is at Sunway Lagoon Club. So there will be a fee. So we just wait for his flyer to come up so that we can have lunch with him at Sunway Lagoon Club. Okay, Hanukkah celebration. Okay, that's all. Yeah. So we have our morning devotion in the morning tomorrow every day. Okay, any question for stop share here? Any question for Sister Ruth? Anyone? Sister Ruth, I know two person now who has got obsessive compulsive neurosis or obsessive compulsive disorder. They call it OCD.
Yeah.
Sometimes they themselves, they don't, it's difficult for them to come and seek help, right? For them, they have to be willing to come. So how do you,
Actually, this issue you have to bring them to the doctors.
Mhm.
Prayer counseling or not enough to make, because it's a brain problem, brain issue, something wrong inside already. So the nerve systems already some disconnection there already lah. So first thing you start him with medication first. Go and see a doctor first, and then slowly talk to him. But if the person is under deep medication, it's difficult to talk to the person, the spirit. Talk to the soul rather, sorry. Talk to the soul, because they won't be thinking straight because the medication influence.
Correct.
So you have to, like for example, in between, let's say the medication is every 4 hourly, right? So the after the third hour, before the next hour of medication, that you have a little space of time of sanity, rather. Sorry, I use the word sanity. A space of time free from the influence of the medication. That would be a good time to talk to him. They do come up occasionally when they get free back to their own mind, they're free from the medication influence sometimes. So you catch the kind of moments with him. You have to go for doctors, and this one cannot help.
Yeah, the problem is I don't even want to go to the doctor. That's the problem, yeah.
Yeah.
So prayer, I still have to come back to prayer. Okay.
This one prayer when God moves I really God really have to do something.
To stir,
divine, really something
person
divine.
might not want to go for treatment also, they're so.
Wouldn't want to go, because mental case they always think that they are not sick.
Right. Yeah.
Very difficult. Difficult.
Okay, thank you. Any question for Sister Ruth? Any question?
Don't be shy. It's okay. Actually, we have heard a lot of this anxiety issue, OCD whatsoever. But we actually don't know what is it all about. And in the beginning, I said, what is this? And then I have been having people coming to see me, especially when I was in healing room. A lot of cases come to me. I said I didn't know how to handle. I wish I knew better then to be able to help them. Actually, once they get into OCD or all this stuff, they will start to get medication already to sober down their mind, the thinking, because all the time they'll be fearful. It's very difficult for the family to handle, also family members to handle.
Okay. Thank you so much. So there's no further question. We're going to call it a night, yeah?
Good night. Yes. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sister Rose.
God bless. God bless.
Aaronic blessing. Brother Danny will give the Aaronic blessing.
Let us all receive the benediction. The Lord want to bless us,
Yeah, lift your
make
hands
His
up.
face shine upon us, put His name upon us. Yivarekeka Adonai, V'yishmereka. Yaye Adonai Panai Leka Bihunika. Isa Adonai Panai Leka V'yashem Leka Shalom. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face shine upon you and be gracious upon you. And He lift up His countenance upon you and give you His shalom peace. Father, the Son, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
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 Thank you. Thank you, Brother Daniel. Thank you, Sister Rose.
Welcome. Good night.
Good
See
night.
y'all
Thank you,
again.
everyone. Yeah, thank you, everyone, for
Bye-bye.
logging in.
Good
Yeah.
night,
Yeah,
everyone.
praise
Bye-bye.
God. Thank you, Sister Rose.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Good
Yeah,
night.
hi,
Thank you,
Josephine.
Sister
You.
Rose and
Welcome.
Sister Teresa and everyone. Good
Yeah.
night.
Thank you, Sister
Good night.
Ruth.
Good night. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
bye, everyone. Good night.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Choming, you're here. Choming. Good to see you. Oh, so many. Stella. Oi is here. Yeah. Okay. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you. God bless.
God bless. God bless.